Yo, what is up guys? It's Pedro here, and in today's video I'll be giving you guys a big injury update on all the injuries that happened over the last day or so. We have a lot of them, including Emmanuel Forbes. If you guys are new, make sure to hit that subscribe button, that like button, and the notification bell as well so you never miss a video. And before we get into the video, a huge shout out to BetUS for sponsoring this video. I have partnered with BetUS for the entire 2023 NFL season. If you do not know, BetUS is the best betting website out there. They've been around since 1994. Very, very reliable. Great customer service, and I've partnered up with them to get you guys a deal. If you guys click the first link in the description, you guys will get 125% first time deposit match. So if you put in $100, you will get $225, and if you guys can do that up to $2,500. There's a bunch of different things to bet on right now. You know, there's WNBA going on, there's MLB. You can even bet on preseason games as well. But as we know, in the next few weeks, the NFL season is going to start to ramp up. You can bet on that. NBA after that, NHL, and then MLB playoffs. It's going to be really nice. So go ahead and click that first link in the description and sign up to BetUS today. Okay, so on Friday's practice, we had a ton of injuries or guys that came in injured and some guys that ended up getting injured. So let's go through the injury report. Logan Thomas got injured. I think it was on Thursday with a calf strain, was not practicing today. A lot of people thought it was a veteran days off, but that was not the case. Emmanuel Forbes got injured at the end of practice, and the reports were he was putting ice on his upper legs, but then afterwards it was, reported, and I think he said it was his groin. Curtis Hodge has been dealing with a hamstring injury. Cody Barton been dealing with a hip flexor injury, and Sadiq Charles dealing with a calf strain. He's missed the last 2 or 3 practices. Not looking good for him in terms of, his stock going up. His stock's been way down because of all these things. But I know a lot of people are very interested in the Emmanuel Forbes injury. So let's start off with that. So he walked off the field without the ice pack on his leg, spoke to some of us and says, on how he feels. I'm feeling good. I'm all right. It was nothing. So he's downplaying it. And he might be telling the truth, but he got out for a reason. And with a groin injury, it could feel a little bit like nothing, but the next day it could be really bad. You never know with these groin injuries. You could be feeling fine, but I'm not 100% convinced. I think they have the day off tomorrow. If on the first day back he's not there, that's when it's like, it turns into a thing. And then if he's not there the next day and they talk to Rivera and stuff, that's when it's like, maybe this is turning into a real thing, and it could linger into the start of the season. And if he doesn't play in the preseason game, that's when you start to get a little bit worried. But if none of the starters play, then it doesn't really matter too much. I'm interested to see what Rivera's philosophy is on this this year's preseason, because they got 3 games. They also have the joint practice with the Ravens, so they might play it a little bit differently this year. We will see, but good to see that he's saying it's nothing, but this is what happened in practice. So he was covering, I think, McLaurin or something. He had a nice pass breakup, then he hobbled to the sideline after the play, getting checked out, and then was slowly walking around, and then was standing on the sideline with a couple the guys with an ice pack wrapped around his upper left leg. So groin injuries are nothing to joke around with. We all saw what happened with Curtis Samuel, where he ended up pretty much missing over a year with that groin injury because they mismanaged it. So I'm fine with them sitting him out for a few practices, because it seems like he's good, and he doesn't, obviously it would be good if he had the reps, but he doesn't absolutely need them like some of the other rookies do. So if they have to sit him out for the first game or the next couple of days of practice, that is 100% fine. Hopefully, though, he doesn't have to miss any actual games. And honestly, hopefully he doesn't have to miss preseason, because I want to see what he looks like, and he needs to get as many reps as possible. I'm trying to see any other things. We'll talk about the Dave Abada news in a bit. Going over the other injuries. Logan Thomas, it's not a big deal, but a calf strain, he dealt with that last year. I think he might have missed a game or something, or definitely was questionable for a couple weeks because of that. Don't like to see that. Logan Thomas has been dealing with a lot of injuries the last couple years. I mean, he had the hamstring injury, then tore the ACL and MCL, maybe meniscus as well. Then last year was dealing with some minor injuries. Like you don't like to see this, but he's probably fine, and they're probably just being cautious with it. Curtis Hodges with a hamstring injury. Maybe they'll have to bring in a tight end. They might have to bring in a tight end. We'll talk about that in a second with a potential replacement there for him. Cody Barton hip flexor could be something, could be nothing. Have no idea. Don't have much context on that. And then the Sadiq thing, we'll see. I mean, I don't feel good about it. He might only be out for a week or two, but he needs those reps, and he's had a history of getting hurt, so just not good news there. Let's see. What did I want to go over? So we talked about the Logan Thomas thing. Curtis Hodges, I guess, got hurt today because he went in the athletic training tent earlier in practices and wasn't back on the field since. So, hey, the depth right there isn't great. And Burgundy Blog says here that's OJ Howard's music. So I would definitely not mind them signing OJ Howard. I know obviously there's been a reason why he's bounced around. He didn't work out much, but he's still talented, and I'd rather have him over the Vikings guy we got there, even over like Curtis Hodges. He's got some potential. He's done okay in the league at times. Like he's probably an okay depth piece to have. And at this point, we know he's not going to be a star tight end. Very, very low percent, chance, but maybe he can be a solid backup for you, or even third stringer, because right now the depth. I mean, we don't know how good the depth is because we don't know how Cole Turner is and Curtis Hodges, and the Vikings guy is who I don't think is going to make it. We know John Bates, he's a good blocking tight end and can occasionally catch a pass for you, like he got a touchdown I think in the Vikings game, but we don't know what those guys are going to be. And Logan Thomas has been dealing with injuries, so I don't feel amazing about the tight end room, but we'll see what happens. But let's talk about this. So I didn't talk about it. It's not a big deal, but it's unfortunate. David Bada did tear his tricep the other day and was placed on the reserve/injured list. And if you're placed on that list, just FYI, this happens every year, but people forget and some people don't know. If you're placed on the injured reserve list before the season starts, well, then you are done for the year. So sucks for him. Probably wasn't going to make the roster, but who knows? But really unfortunate for him. He's been on the team for a while, and it seems like the guys like him. And yeah, just unfortunate there. So as to replace that, him, they signed defensive tackle Curtis Brooks, who's bounced around a couple of teams. I believe the Colts. I didn't see him. I looked at his stats. I couldn't find any. So obviously a camp body. Very, very, very hard for him to make the team. I mean, I would put it close to a 0% chance considering all the other guys they have ahead of him. Like just at the D tackle room, they got John Allen, Daron Payne, Fedarian Mathis, John Ridgway that are clearly ahead of him. And then guys like Efe Obada and James Smith-Williams are hybrids. And then they have other guys that are above him as well. So Curtis Brooks is not making the team. And if he does, I'll eat the crow. But he, he's a camp body and nothing wrong with that. Maybe makes the practice squad. So that is it for today's video. Hope you guys did enjoy. Again, check out BetUS. Link will be in the description. Also, join the Discord. Link will be the second in the description. Peace, guys.